Hey, buddy! Okay, hi, everybody. It's Brack. You gotta love some Brack. If you don't know who Brack is, I'll look him up. All right. Okay, it's a happy, happy day. Clappy, clap, 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 clap. Here's our standard old thing. Boink. So this is today's page. This is the page that I drew yesterday with the old left mitt as opposed to the right mitt. And yeah, I think it turned out pretty good. I'll show you the original. I got the original in the old camera. There it is. So that was really tricky. It was really tricky doing this, but all of the effects and things like that is just screens after screens. And I was so into the moment of it. My left arm is sore now because I even did the digital stuff with my left hand, which, yeah. So a little over the top, a little ridiculous. However, all of this jazz, the text that's on here, let me get rid of this goofball. There he goes. Hey, Tori. Hey, everybody's Tori. So the text that's on the screen is, it's all vernacular from the Victorian period. It's all lost vernacular that we don't use anymore. And it sounds far more provocative than it actually is. This is like a litmus test for whether or not people got sassy minds, I think, because I get all poked up means I'd be embarrassed. So, I get all poked up if I let him peck me on my sauce box means I'd be embarrassed if he kissed me. That's it. That's all it means. Yeah. So, and if if I weren't a gal sneaker with my gas pipes on, if I weren't if I weren't interested in meeting a lady and I got my tight pants on. That's all. It's like just nonsense. Just a nonsense page. Call me a Kruger spoof is a liar. That's I find her mad as hops. That means exciting. I find he's just saying he finds his wife exciting. So it sounds a lot nastier to some people's minds than it actually is. So, and my favorite line I think I put on this is Victorians had a way with repressing their expressing of their affections. That's my favorite line in the whole thing, which is so dumb. Anyhow, so that's today's page. Oh, that's very nice of you, Tori. Tori loves it. All right, so we've got so that's today's page, and yesterday's page was the page about Joshua Kemble called The World of Kremlin, and it has everything to do with the fact that Joshua Kemble loves playing Risk, and this is from the perspective of his Risk world when he conquers the Earth. So, and I try to imply the Risk connection with not only the map at the top, but then at the bottom I say it's the most risky game ever played. And the day before that's the music one. This is getting all kinds of likes. I'm not saying that to be, obnoxious. It's just, because you put down these bands and people go, I like that band. It gets more likes by default. Not because it's anything additional, any other special reason. So, yeah. All right. Okay, so the original page for, I don't think I showed this yesterday. The original page for the Joshua Kemble page, I drew full size. I drew 11 by 17. So it's a big one. And then little things like the bridge and all that sort of jazz was done digitally. Into the pile. Okay. So then, in that case, hi, Rachel. Rachel's here, everybody. Okay, so today's suggestions. What do we got? Okay, so I got to check this sucker off because that is done. So I got a couple of different word prompts to do. But I try to go back and make sure I caught up on all of the suggestions. And aside from the day the dishes did me, the day the bed made me, the day the phone answered me one, the oldest one standing right now is Bela Lugosi singing rock and roll. So I've got ideas. I've got ideas. I'm hoping to get ideas. Rachel says, I have the dread circle of doom. I don't know what that means, but I like it. I like it this much. Hey, that is a great sentence. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Paul Pate. Okay. All right, so I think I'm going to do the Bela Lugosi singing rock. I even wrote it down already. I just decided this like 2 minutes ago. Yeah. So this is, by the way, this is okay, so this is page 100. This is the 100th page, or this is, I'm sorry, this is the 110th page. But the 100th suggestion since January, since the start of the year, which is very nice. Thank you very much, everybody. All right. Yeah, I showed it to Rachel during Didi's stream, and she wrote in capital letters that she is rolling on it. Like she actually wrote it out, rolling on the floor laughing. Please be obnoxious. We already accepted you. Well, in that case, yeah. All right. Okay, so yeah, so we've got the Bela Lugosi page in front of us now, which I'm looking forward to. I'm going to try it a different way, though. What way is that, Chris? Boy, am I glad you asked. See, I'm naturally obnoxious, I think. Bela Lugosi singing rock. Yeah. Okay. I got this. I call him Dave, and we're gonna try this cat here and do some stuff. Man, that stinks. That's a stinky pen. That's all right. I knew what I was getting into. Maybe I'll try this one. It doesn't stink as much. Yeah, it doesn't stink anywhere near as much. There's Chris is smelling his markers. This is going to be a good shoe. All right. So I thought that I would do some roughing in first, which is something I generally don't do. So I thought that might be some fun. So I put this up at the front. Boink. If you have a one-page comic idea, you can put in 1 or 2 sentences. Put it here in the chat or in the comment section below the video. Okie doke. All right. If you say something really saucy, like something that's just for whatever reason cracks up, you get a Polly. If you say something bad, you're going to get a hey now. So, but anybody that's joined us late, you're going to get a hey, buddy. I'm used as no one but myself. Oh, boy. Wait for me. Yeah, is it the circle? The never-ending circle? Yeah, I like to sing Dead or Alive when that's going. Just that you spin me right round. Yeah. All right, so I thought that what I'd do is just rough it in, but I'm going to be a little redonkulous with how I'm going to go about this. Where's that book? Hey, here you are. You're a piece of paper. You'll do. All right, and just seeing what marks that this marker is going to give me before I start making marks on this here old papier. Oh, here, I did that off camera, I realize now. So just doing this, I'm just testing out what marks are going to come out of this. Anyways, so I just thought, boom, 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 boom. I just thought I'd go about it this way and throw it down first. And this sort of a random gradated approach. It sounds good. It sounds good. But yeah, so the left-handed page was fine yesterday. I find that I work so much slower, and which is why the narration was limited to really one image, right? But sometimes you don't need an awful lot of imagery in order to further the story. So it worked out okay yesterday. But if anybody sits down, there's a thing that you can look up. It's like 52 Victorian terms that are no longer used. You'll realize that it's a lot of harmless stuff I said, like juice box means mouth. Like, poked up means embarrassed. Like, it's just nonsense. Okay, hey, it's Jim Luan, everybody. Hi, Jim. Here's the next 00 suggestions. Yeah. I'm really appreciative of the fact that this is number 100, and I really appreciate everybody taking part. And so, I mean, at this point, I got to sit down and figure out what I'm going to do with all these, because oh, it's true. It's true. It's funny and it's sad because it's true. You got to Polly. That's a great sentence. Yeah, it's what's that guy smelling pins for? I don't know. I ain't going over there. It's big enough to eat me. Yeah. So yeah, keep the suggestions coming in. We're going to keep going, but I think that at this point, I am going to need to figure out what I'm going to do with these, because at this point, I'm sitting on something like 160, 100 or so since the start of COVID. That I put out the book last year. I put out, where is it? I put out this last year, right? Which collects the first, I think it's the first 40 that I did. And they're all in portrait format. And then there's a couple of 2-pages. Like this one's a 2-pager. Right? So it opens up and here's our characters talking on a hill overlooking a village being raided. And then there's another 2-pager with 2 sloths go to war. And there's a couple of multiple pages of pieces. Like there's multiple Frankenstein's monster as a 5-year-old kid. But there's the 2 sloths that goes over 2 pages. And then I did a 4-page story at the end for a 5-year-old girl suggested a nice zombie story. So I did a little 4-page TV sitcom, Father Knows Best-esque kind of a thing. So that's done. But because I'm doing everything in this landscape format now, I've talked to Friesens initially, and now we're going to talk more about publishing through them and putting it online so that people can actually get the book instead of just watching this bozo do stuff. In case anybody wants to have it at home, maybe I should take some more suggestions if anybody has any about other potential publishers as well. 100. So yeah, there's lots of good things happening out there right now. I believe that tonight, Jim, if you can let everybody know what time, but Jim is going to have an episode. Jim Luan is going to have an episode of Hey Man, How's Your Movie Going? Which is his stream, to talk about the process of him making his new film, The Full Fungus. And if you haven't seen Jim's animations, please go check out his channel. They're fantastic. He's got such individual and unique world that he's built, and it is definitely worth checking out because they're brilliantly funny. they're funny, and at the same time they're insightful, and there's all the drama. Like it's the fully rounded piece. There's a lot of things that the creators will do, and they'll sort of hit one target, right? And that target's great, but that target's sort of a single note thing. If you can find a creator that can get drama in there, can get comedy in there, can get those heartfelt sympathies for the characters, that's when you know you're understanding, like the creator themselves is understanding the deeper resonance of human experience and human emotion. So check it out. Jimmy Lou here on the U of Tubes. All the cool kids are doing it. The back of the bus, smoking cigarettes. Maybe not those kids, but you know what I mean. What's new and exciting? Hey, we went out shoe shopping last night. In order to shoe shop in London, Ontario, for me at least, we have to drive all the way across the city, which is, it's not that long. It's like 25 minutes to get across London, 30 minutes. And, but it's the only place that has, it was bewildering for me the first time. It's the only place that I've ever known that has a selection of shoes in my size. And just because, I don't live in Toronto or in, larger cities. So you've got limited selection here. Well, they actually have a section in the shop. Of course, it's at the far back corner, but also go out, pick up some shoes, go all the way to the front and say, yeah, we need, looking for some dress socks or something, because I got some dress shoes for an upcoming wedding. And they're in the back corner. So we had to walk all the way to the back corner of this place again. Yeah, we got a pair of dress socks here for $13. I got some at home because I'm the world's cheapest goofball. All right, so I got some new slippers, and as my other ones were, they were so tired. They're so tired. They just wanted to just leave me alone, they said. I don't know if you ever had your shoes talk to you, but. So that was a big fun trip. We took a 27-year-old there, and he got 3 pairs of shoes, the shoe maven, He needed them. But he had also gone suit shopping. And in addition to that, picked up some other extra bits of business. So, man, what's that? Clothes horse. That's what they're called. Clothes horse. Jim, unique. Would you have thought that up? Thought what up? What did I miss? Man, I gotta pay attention to what's going on. Is that because I referred to Jim's work as unique? I meant it in a positive way. I hope that comes across, that I meant it positively. There's just so many people out there that are there's a lot of generic styles. Like there's a lot of lack of uniqueness and originality in a lot of people working. And it's no fault of their own, other than it's sort of the nature of a system to try to adopt to something that you like in a system. It's like people that are fans of the Gorillaz tend to look at the Gorillaz art. Byron Specials, is that where I went? No, I went to Factory Shoe, Rachel. I went and I live in Huron Heights. So Huron Heights is in the northeast corner of the city. We used to be on the outskirts of town, but now it takes like 2-3 minutes just to drive to the outskirts of town now, because London's expanding like crazy. And my sons have sizes 11, 12, and 12, 13, which is problematic enough. 2 oldest sons, anyways. And our youngest son's like normal size feet. But I wear a size stupid, so. All right, so before I get to, I want to put him, I got to look up Bela Lugosi and his Dracula getup, because that's what, that's how I want to have him performing on stage in his rock band. This suggestion is from Rachel, by the way. So just drawing his hands in. So this is just sort of roughing out the tone, and in about 2 seconds, I'm going to put in some of those details on his faces. I'm flashing the camera out, I think, with my big mitten away. So we've got his crazy pose here. So maybe I have him singing a song, like maybe I'll find the lyrics for one of the songs by the Count from Sesame Street and give him those lyrics to sing. All right, so this is the edge of that finger. I might as well put the other finger in, even if it's off of the scene, the panel, the pizzanel. So yeah, so it's kind of cool being at 100 now, and it's kind of like an objective plateau, right? Rachel has been in the back corner of factory shoes. I got asked a half a dozen times by this lady that worked there, "Can I help you?" And I'm like, I'm holding, like I'm carrying 4 boxes of shoes. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure I've been helped, lady. I help you? I'm already helped. How much more helping can I get? I got myself a healthy helping of shoes. All right, I'm gonna let me see what I think I might use a Fodenosuke. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but that's how I do. So my good friends bought me this thing. It's a little easel. It's like a little mini easel. And so as you tilt it up, and it has a little stick that holds the easel open so that you can do small pieces on the go. And they were disappointed when it arrived because they'd ordered it online because it was a lot smaller than they thought it was going to be. And meanwhile, I'm tickled pink. I'm like, yeah! That's like a perfect size for kicking around. So, you know. I'm just looking up a picture of Bella in this Dracula costume. Yes. Stylish. The guy's stylish. Are there any specific items that anybody here, and what I mean by that, like, you know, you'll go really far out of your way. Now, there's certain things that we need to go to certain places, like you got to go to the drugstore for things because of whatever you got going on. But is there anything like sort of you just want more selection of a thing, so you'll go to some ridiculous, some random location, some random space, Because I'm not really that guy. I'm that, I can't be bothered. Generally, the answer for me is that if I have to do that, well, it ain't happening today. So, okay, so here's our Bella. Bella Lugosi's dead. All right. So let's go ahead and pick out some of the details here. Actually, before I do that, what do you look like? This is a bone white that I got from the store. It's a Copic that's supposed to be white. It wasn't white. It's bricks. Anyways, I thought I'd see how that looks for me. Eyeball. Yeah. So as cool as it is to have hit that plateau, people can still feel free to send me any suggestions or any random wild ideas that you've got coming in, because I'm still down for that bad soon. All right. I'm going to get my gobsmack out of the way because I'm just in the road here. Nobody wants to look at me. Okay. So, hey, look at me. How many guys? So what time is it? I got to keep track of the time. 27 minutes. I said that I would do a reading of today's page. So I will do so in just a couple of minutes. Are you excited, folks? Huh? Are you excited? You have no idea what you're in for. No idea. So this is a Posca pen that I'm using, and I'm just applying a little bit of black and then dragging it out and around. So is it Dee Dee that got me? Or was it Dee Dee that got me? Was it Dee Dee that suggested this? I thought this was you. Well, I'll just credit both of you. Yeah, well, honesty gets you every time. There's this big old schmackaroony. So this is a Fodenosuke pen. I really like these. I've mentioned these a couple of times. The reason that I like them is that they have all of this ability to bend and to take a little bit of punishment when putting down lines. And so you can get this fantastic variation in the line. They make me look like I know what I'm doing. Maybe a little more so than I actually do. Because let's be honest, I don't really know what I'm doing. Who are we kidding? I like coloring. But drawing backwards yesterday, that was fun. Rachel is willing to be 101. 101. Bated breath. Oh, there we go. That's a great sentence. You just got a Paulie. 101 is the name of the live album by Depeche Mode. That's for Jim. The idea of Bela Lugosi singing in front of a rock and roll band, I'm just turning it into, 1970s glam rock nonsense. Ideally, I should have drawn him like he was 80 years old, but hindsight and all that, right? There's a lot of fun that can be had. I really enjoyed doing the previous Universal Monster appearance on paper was when I did the Brady Bunch version of them recently. That was a fun suggestion that came in. You gotta just sort of chase everything down. Every idea that comes across, I think, is part of the fun for me. I don't know about others, but it is for me. It's kind of neat. There's more and more people are dialing in and throwing suggestions out, and that's a lot of fun. But we've got so much more that we can be doing. So just throwing down some of these accent lines, and then I'm going to come back in and throw down some more of the grays again and bring a little more development, a little more structure to the face. I love intelligent pens that make me seem more interesting. Yeah, this pen's far smarter than I am. A good pen can take a sort of, if you're not very strong at something, but you find the right pen, it could really change how you approach your mark making so that it makes you look like you know a little bit more about what you're doing. Realistically, I don't know any more about what I'm doing, but I can make it look like that. A tangent is when a line, like see how the line breaks across here and doesn't connect to the edge of the finger? Because that's what's called a tangent, and it sort of drags the eye around in ways that maybe you don't want it to be dragged. So I try to stay away from those. Today's show on Dee Dee Willingham's stream was really fun. Her one daughter was dropping by for a visit. So it's like she's very much like her mother. So it kind of fun that it's, here's Dee Dee is very practical in her application for stuff, where if there's something that she's not finding, she'll make it. Whereas her daughter was spending X amount of time sorting through the sticker books. And yet at the same time, very, very similar mindset when it comes to the creative angle of things and how they put together application of images. So I thought that was kind of fun and interesting. So the one idea I can have is to continue the image through and right down to the bottom of the page and have, the title across his chest here and some of the lyrics and stuff he's shouting out. And then we can go into the next panel where it's hit the whole band that he's in front of. So there's a couple of options for how to proceed with this page. So we're still thinking. But usually it's that first panel and how I approach these one pages. It's the first panel that informs me about where I'm going next. I sort of come up with half the ideas for what I'm doing on a page then and there. Uh-oh. Christopher, I dropped you to my sister-in-law, and her comment was, why would a famous artist talk to you? I was laughing so hard at the insult I could not respond. A famous artist? Get out of town. Who? Why would a famous artist? That's funny. Who was it? Do I know him too? It's been really fun for me to be able to meet so many people through different channels and like through the Aircaster guys and through Dee Dee and so many great people in this larger art community online. And you develop a feeling of isolation when you're working on your own in your own space, and to be able to find people to talk to and to be able to find a larger community out there to get to know, it's kind of cool. Well, I'm going to name drop you to your sister and see if she says the same thing. I got nothing. All right, so I've put down the first part of the composition, like his face here. So now we're going to come in and go over some of these areas. And so the places where there's already some of these marks that are put down, they're really going to pop up a little more as we go over top with another layer. Yeah, Denise's scavenger book on Dee Dee's stream was really, really cool. There's so many little things in there, and it makes your brain pop when you see cool imagery that it just sort of makes your brain pop out. And I wish I thought of that. Well, not necessarily that, but more of I love elements like that. And how do I incorporate those elements into what I'm doing? Something that I want to do on an upcoming page, and it may be this one, is have a trap door in the page. See, the problem with this is a two-dimensional project that doesn't have, when you don't have the facility for printing it, so that you can have hold on, my brain is gone just right out my ear here. All right, how about this? When you have the little pull tab and it makes the legs wiggle on the person, or you pull tab and ghost face comes out of a trap door there? That's what I'm talking about. And I thought about how do I put that onto a page like this? Just seeing if I'm leaking through. How do I put that on a page like this? How do I go about emulating that, at least on a two-dimensional platform, because I don't have the facility to pay for, a pop-up page in every book. It's not advantageous price-wise. Just for that thing alone would have to take a great deal of logistics to put in place. So rather than that, how can I figure out how to draw it into the page? And so I was considering that for this one. We'll see how that goes. I don't know why I'm doing the collar and stuff, because I'm going to black these out. All right. So I'm just putting a little more depth around the eyes here. Seeing what that gives me. Where's your sister-in-law live, Rachel? And who's she confusing me with? All right, so just getting down a little bit. This is a slightly darker gray pen, and this is from the Artist Loft pens from Michaels, which is maybe a Canadian version for those of you in the United States of Hobby Lobby, I think it's called. Oh, hey, it's 41 minutes in, and I promised something. Okay, hold on a second. Take this off, and I'll switch to this. All right, so this is how I read today's page. Are you ready? Yeah, so this is a little bit ridiculous, and you have to bear with me, but this is literally how it sounds in my head. And I thought I'd read this one because it's so ridiculous. All right. Now, on the left hand, I do still find him handsome. He doesn't smell entirely odorous. He isn't one to be a farfin or to bubble around. But on the right hand, I'd get all pooped up if I let him pick me on my sauce box. Call me Kruger-proof. Call me Kruger-spoof if I didn't say I find her mad as hops. I take comfort in doing the bear with her at times. She isn't one for maffing around, even if I weren't a girl sneaker with my gas pipes on. I just wish they'd have a good old smooch so I can get back to work. There you go. Ridiculous. That's how it sounds in my head. You're welcome. Has anybody been permanently scarred by that? This is where all the numbers drop off because people are like, what is wrong with him? Yeah. And if you think I'm completely fine with that. Next frame with him is back to showing us an advancing audience of creepos with a trap door right behind him as an exit avenue. I like that. That's good. That could work. All right, so I'm just trying to get his face down. I'm trying not to do that thing. I don't know if other people do that thing, but I know I do, where as you're working and you're drawing a face, and somebody's going like this, and you start doing the same thing. Yeah, I am notorious for that. I have no idea some of the goofball expressions I must make while I'm drawing, but I'm pretty sure I would. So, oh yeah, today's musical selection's the Gorillas, and the album is called The Now Now. And let's do a lot of weird stuff. All right, so just getting as the value change comes into place, you really start to sort of see the structure of the person that you're drawing come through. So that's why a lot of people will put actual variation in their gray marks and their black and white marks as they're going. So me, I do everything in segments. Even funnier with the voiceover. Oh no. Jim, were you here for the for my reading of today's page? I just read today's page with the accents that were going on in my head as I was writing it. Hi, come here for serious political discourse and intelligent conversation, not these jokes. Consternation, Jim. Consternation. I didn't know I'd be coming in here for humor. What color are you? Ooh. There we go. This is the color I've really needed. Because he's got very dark eyes always, and it's realizing a couple things. One, it's a black and white film and the time period, but Bela Lugosi had a very prominent, top of his eyes. So eye ridge. All right, so that's coming together a little bit. I'll have to check back after and see if my numbers dropped off after I read today's page. Oh, Linda's here. Hi, Linda. Oh, I love your voices. Wrong person hears that and they're like, that's offensive. So I'm just putting some more of these darker shadows through. All right, so there we go. He looks like he's having a bad day. We'll clean it up in a second. Bella had an escarpment, not a ridge. Have I given, has he got the point? What has he got? I got to look him up now. Oh, all right. Bela Lugosi is the original Dio. That guy in Jim, you're so random. Oh my gosh. Okay. Random question of the day, number 210. What are your thoughts on the Planet of the Apes franchise? Rachel's answer, scattered. Scattered. Oh, what am I doing? You're the wrong color. Boom, 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 boom. I was really unhappy with how those markers were working, so I thought I'd just go switch over to this pencil crayon. Just because sometimes you gotta, if it's not working how you want things to carry over, and you could do that in a different format, just switch to the other format in. There's no rules. Yes, there are rules, Chrissy. You broke them. Now get at it, Dutch. Uh-oh, everybody. Cat's here. Hi, Cat. Maybe Cat was here. Cat, did you hear the reading of today's page? I'm trying to scar as many people as I can with it, you see. On my channel here on the main page, there's a page I did called the suggestion was a comedian becomes the one thing that he hates the most. And so I did this comic page where Jerry Seinfeld gets convicted by a judge to have to become a clown. He gets surgically altered to with the big feet and the nose and the whole bit. And so I did a video where I read it. And somebody said I should do more of those. And I literally have just never actually done another one since. And it's only because, you get doing other things. Here's some of my favorite advice. You'd do a lot better if you did this thing. You should just do that instead. Hey, I know you're enjoying doing X, but you should do Y. Why? Because we love you. I was channeling my grandmother for the reading of today's page. My grandmother had the greatest sense of humor. My grandparents were married for 72 years. And I remember asking my grandmother when I found out that they were in their 60 some odd year. I remember asking her, how is it you and Grandpa have managed to be married for that long? And honestly, I was thinking about the logistics of the numbers, not so much the structural how. And my grandmother, so I said, how is it you guys have been married so long? And my grandmother says to me, you're going to have to speak up. I can't hear you. So I literally repeat myself again. How is it that you and Grandpa have been able to be married for so long? And my grandmother, just with this little smile on the side of her face, leans in and goes, you're going to have to speak up. I can't hear you. And then she just goes about what she was doing. And I walk away bewildered for a moment. And then it's sort of when it dawns on you, oh, God. It's really tragic. But yeah, she had a great sense of humor. Well, I think this is an incredibly unsuccessful Bela Lugosi, but he's got a much rounder face. So we'll see how I can fix it in post by stretching his face out a little bit. They married at 18, and they were married for my grandmother died when she was 91. So if numbers serve, that's 72 years. Charlton Heston is basically Moses in every movie. I think that Moses is basically Charlton Heston in my head. I've come all the way over the Sinai. Yeah, everything he did was just ridiculous. I like to run around in rooms where people are having a banquet and smack plates out of their hand and tell them that to stop it, Soylent Green is people. And I thank Charlton Heston for that. You know what I'm missing? That's what I'm missing. Jim Luan. My favorite scene was that time Christopher Walken was in Planet of the Apes. You remember Christopher Walken? I remember that guy. And when he came in, and he, whoa, look at this. We got a whole bunch of these apes running around. That's terrible. You're welcome. Now he's looking mad. That's better. We got to get him looking mad. Got to get Jim Luan on the stream here so we can do his Christopher Walken impression. It's really good. Everybody should tune in tonight to, hey man, how's your movie going? When Jim, you want to tell us what time that's at? Because he's going to be doing a really good Chris Walken impression tonight. And I don't know about anybody else here, but I, for one, am really excited to see it. What time's that at, Jim? That was Sin of a Woman, Al Pacino, Planet of the Apes. At least it was recognizable enough for somebody to pick up on it. Cat has never seen Planet of the Apes. All right. Well, Cat, that's part of the reason that I'm here. Okay? Planet of the Apes. It's really straightforward. Let me explain it to you. Oh, hold on. Before that, Jim's show is going to be on tonight at 7 p.m. Pacific, which is 11 p.m. Eastern. 10 p.m. Eastern. 10 p.m. Eastern. Dueling Watkins. Yeah, get Corey Kerr is going to be his guest on the show tonight. So Jim told me this, and like he might deny it now because I've kind of spoiled the surprise, but he and Corey were going to do Dueling Watkins on the show. It's going to be exciting. Okay, Kat has never seen Planet of the Apes. All right, well, let me help you out, Kat, because I've seen this. Okay, so what happens is there's this guy, right? And he's kind of like, I don't know, some kind of spaceman, but you dial up this thing on the wall and somebody shows up at your house and says like, hey, let's hang out, and have some grown-up time. And then but they go to this circus event, and at the circus event, if you're of a certain age, you get zapped. Okay? And so they're like, forget that. I'm splitting. So they take off running. And then they come across these food lines. And in these food lines, people are eating these little green pieces of cheese. And there's another guy who's running around smacking it out of everybody's hands. And he's like, put that down. That's great. It's so good, this movie. And then he stands up and he holds his arms apart. And the whole crowd moves aside for him so he can walk by. Dad! Ah! Like that. It's not Schwarzenegger, though. He's not in it. I know that most people think of the face and they think of Schwarzenegger, but no, this is not the original guy that would do that face. So, yeah, so the crowd parts and they can all walk through it. It's really good. Oh, wait, no, they got chased by this other dude who's really mad at them because they didn't go and get zapped like they were supposed to. And they end up in an old city, and they talk to an old British actor who likes books. That's exactly how Planet of the Apes goes. Hey, everybody, it's Philip Chandler. Kat says, I love Christopher's Cold Notes version. He makes it sound better than the real thing. Dude, Planet of the Vapes. Whoa. Are you trying to explain movies again, Chris? That was Planet of the Apes, Philip. Planet of the Apes? Where you die because you turned 21? And you talk to an old librarian in a broken city? This is an instance where you're better suited to go and read Wikipedia entries for what movies are actually about than how I describe films, because they're pretty incorrect. These Coles notes cannot be found elsewhere. Not a chance. All right, it's a little bit more, and I got to get the hell away from this panel. What time are we at? 104. Oh, yeah, I remember that part. I forgot all about that part. Julie Andrews flies down, teaches children to sing, and they rescue him from the Germans. On a bed. They do it on a bed. They do it on a bed, and they fly around, and then they solve murders. What's the first Harry Potter movie? Philip, my fault. Another movie I've never seen. Wait, Philip, you forgot the part where Whoopi directs the choir. Okay, let's just go through this right now. Kat, you might want to write these down. We have just discussed Sister Act, that's the Whoopi reference. Bread Knobs and Broomsticks, that's the, teaching kids how to sing on a bed and during the war with the Germans. Oh my God. Mary Poppins, Logan's Run, Al Pacino in not Scarface, Son of a Woman, Moses and the Ten Commandments. What else we got in there? It's just easier to describe all the films to you. So if we can just put all the films together, you only have to see one. My favorite part of the Planet of the Apes is when they go back in time in a DeLorean. The right person tunes in at this point and goes, these are either really insightful people or the stupidest people when it comes to movies. Can't both be true. Mary Poppins and The Sound of Music all in one. We're getting pretty good for ham hocking all these movies together. All right. I'm going to be doing something silly for a moment. Bear with me. We're going to see how this goes. Just to keep it interesting, I'm going to radiate all of the lines out of this point here. By the way, off topic here, if I could give a quick plug. Doing a live stream tonight with Enrique for Art Black. Ah, yes, but Dick Van Dyke never did marry Mary, except for in the show. But, that Mary throws her hat, so I don't know if that was the best choice of a wife. Every day, she's just throwing that hat and just walking away. Walking away. All right, Philip's doing a live stream tonight. What time, Philip? We got Jim at 7, and then we got Philip at, well, I guess 10 EST for. Sometimes I'll do things just to keep it interesting. That's what this is. What time we got? 8:30 Pacific, 10:30 EST. Well, you're half an hour after Jim, and it takes you guys a few minutes to get rolling, so that works. It's going to work out fine. Because Jim's going to go for, Jim generally goes for like 45 minutes, an hour tops. It works fine. We're all in this together, fellas. Oh, sorry, I left that up like a jerk. Okay, I'll be done before you, Philip. Have to vacate the premises. Thank you for the wisdom gained and otherwise the company. Till next time, Pantless Paul, wherever you are, Sal and all. Bye now. Bye, Rachel. Thanks for coming out. Good luck with your vacating. Has anybody else got any upcoming streams or anything they want to talk about, or anybody working on something that they want to share with everybody else? Remember, this is the We're All In It Together stream, so I am completely cool with promoting each other's things. After you're done, Jim, send everybody to me. Send them my way. I haven't put the black in these areas here, right? Like this is spots for the black, largely because I want to develop all of this value shifting, these grays and stuff like that before I get into it. So and this whole drag line thing that I'm doing, I don't know how much that's coming across. You can't even see it. What a bozo. Boy, oh boy. When my girlish good looks go, when I don't know how well this comes across, but the idea is, you know, inner radiance. But I'm doing all this before I put the black down on purpose. Where is Polly? At the post office again? Pantless Paul goes to the post office. There's a Canadian artist, or maybe he's French. I don't care. But Paul, he does this whole series about Paul goes to the beach. Paul goes camping, and these are indie alternative books for adults. And but you know, I don't think he's ever done a Pantless Paul goes to the post office, because that's fun. That's a lot of fun. I'd read that book. He ain't got nothing on Paul. Just saying. Paul is Paul supplies the beefcake on my stream. I don't know how Paul would feel about that, but you know. All right. I want a better. All right, just give me a second. I'm going to try one more thing. What are we at? 1:15. So my intention for the rest of this page is I'm going to draw him on stage with his band, and see how that goes, right? Like the idea of. I meant to drag this down further. And that is not working. Oh, because it's, yeah, see, there we go. So the idea is that this first third is him in his singing pose with the text underneath and then the lyrics. And then the next panel is, of course, him with his band. It's kind of like a really touched sort of music poster, I guess. But a fun one. I look forward to Jim's stream tonight. I'm actually gonna send something to Jim tonight. He got nothing on Paul. He's just saying Paul buys his pants half off. Both halves off. Half off. Fantastic. Oh, thanks, Kat. Sometimes it's just continue at it until it sort of starts doing the things you want it to. There is such a thing as overworking a drawing, though. There's an animator that I really want to check out right now. It's a British gentleman, and his latest animation is he's got 14 drawings he's been doing over the last, or 14 shorts that he's been doing over the last, I think he said 20 years. And he just keeps taking the same page and erasing as he goes. He draws, snaps, erases this part, does the movement on that page. Snaps, erases what he needs to. And he's done 14 films this way in the last so many years, and he's going to have an exhibition of them soon. And that, to me, sounds like a keen, insane approach. All right, so there's our full on Bella. Now, I'm going to use one of these old brushes. And, I could be doing it in ink. Well, let's get some watercolor all up in this sucker. My favorite Lugosi's. Josie Lugosi, Rosie Lugosi, and of course, Chad Lugosi. Everybody loves Chad. So the reason that I've got the watercolor coming out is that there's certain shapes and stuff that I find that you can put them together faster this way. Like I really like cutting shapes like this. Moses. I'm drawing Moses, Philip. One of the Lugosis. Moses Lugosi. It's I gotta stretch the face out because right now it's too narrow. But I'm gonna keep on it. Get all the other stuff into it beforehand. Multiple things at once? Art once? Multiple things art once? Not at once. Art once. That's not a typo. He's really doing art once. Multiple things art once. I really like these. This is one of those things where when they come along, you're like, oh, where have they been all these years? These water brushes, so you can just, that control that it gives you, so great. I've never seen Dracula. Does no one here watch Hallmark Christmas movies? Boy, do I. You know what my favorite one is? Hey, so I'm new in town, and I was some sort of data billionaire, but then I decided to come back to my hometown and live a rustic life, building my own cottage out of wood with my own hands. And then a lady shows up in a sports car, and she's like, hello, does anybody know why I don't get cell phone reception? Oh my goodness, I like this place. I think I'll buy half the town. Hey, who are you? And then he says, Bob. I am just cutting some wood over here for me to make my own home. And she's like, oh my God. And then they stop and look at each other and go, like that. And then they fall in love and save Santa Claus. I've seen those movies. Santa Claus is played by Al Pacino. Oh, so you want some presents? Yeah, terrible. I've seen that one 2001 times. I knew it. I knew I had that script right. You know what I really want to, I really would like to be is a person in that room where at Hallmark, where they're trying to come up with their next project. And okay, has anybody got any ideas? Because we've been reusing the ideas a couple times. I don't want to make any judgments, but I feel like we've done the same thing one or two times, a little too similar to one another. And somebody says, let me think about this. I got it. What if there's a small town girl and she lives in this sort of small town. She's a school librarian. Everybody loves her, but nobody can figure out why she just will not settle down and marry. And all the guys in town would just love to be with her. But then this tech billionaire guy drives into town. I would love to be a fly on the wall of that room. Well, no, there's no reason ever that I want to be a fly. But I just to be in there for the idea generation of that would be very interesting to me. So come on in. What's your name? My name's Chet. My car broke down over there on the highway. Oh no, Chet. Unfortunately, it's not going to be ready for 2 weeks. My brother is the mechanic and he stubbed his toe. Oh no, wherever will I stay? We have an extra bed safe at our house. You know. Jerry Seinfeld should write a Hallmark movie. Yeah, that'd be great. Or Larry David and Jerry Seinfeld together writing it. Just the level of dissatisfaction at the beginning of it would just be fantastic. You know what? Actually, I think it's happened. I think it's called Schitt's Creek. There's a Canadian TV show about the Schitt's family, SCHITT, and they at one point the billionaire husband bought his wife a small town as a lark for her birthday, and so when they've lost everything else, the only thing they have left that they own is this small town, and so they move into the town motel, and it's basically really sappy, ridiculous jokes, but it's kind of written like it's by Jerry Seinfeld. My brother Bob kills Nicolas Cage at the end of Vampire's Kiss. Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Speaking of Draculas, that's kind of crazy. Cat loves her some Schitt's Creek. I've never actually watched it. I've never actually seen it. I think Eugene Levy's brilliantly funny, but I've never really got his son at all. He just comes off as one note. But that's because I'm a jerk. I just never really dialed into that actor. Actor. He's been in lots of stuff now. But Catherine O'Hara and Eugene Levy, come on, out of this world. I gotta get black ink. Black ink. All right. So what are we at? 124. A little tray full of ink. Is that a real thing, Jim? Did your brother really kill Nicolas Cage in that movie? Is that the new one? Is that the new one he's in? That's why I said spoiler alert. Or is he in another vampire movie? Is this a... Is this an older film or a newer film? I really liked Nicolas Cage in Racing Arizona. Well, a lot of people like Schitt's Creek. It's a good. I'm not saying it's a bad show. I just haven't watched it. Dracula, the one where he comes from Egypt and is sewn together from different parts, but turns into a werewolf, climbs the Empire State Building, and shot down by a submarine. Oh my God, Philip! I watched that last night. And then he climbs out of the, shot down, by a submarine. And when he gets out of the water, he sees that chick and he grabs her and he jumps off the boat and runs away. I saw that movie. It's based on my mom's life. I'm just kidding. It's my dad's. Yeah, this ink is not working. I'll take a few passes of this with this lousy ink, but that's just because I went with the block ink instead of. Did you get the idea? You get the idea. Yeah, that is super cool though. You got to figure Nicolas Cage has been in more. Like a lot of vampire films, it just for some reason it just screams Nicolas Cage. I think the new one's called Renfield or something like that. The guy who co-stars in this, the one that's coming out right now with Nicolas Cage, he was in. Oh, for goodness sakes, I can't remember the name now. It was a zombie romance movie, and. I can't remember what it's called, but it's going to drive me crazy. I've got it on my shelf. I have to look it up. But it's Romeo and Juliet in Zombie World, which is so super cool. You don't realize it at first, but the lead female character is Julia, and his character is called R. You realize Montagues and Capulets, and yeah, it's really crazy. My brother used to act, Jim says. It's a 90s movie. Oh, I'll have to check that out. Your brother Bob kills Nicolas Cage. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. Warm Bodies. Thank you, Philip. Warm Bodies. Warm Bodies. Yeah. Yeah, that was a good one. That was good fun. All right, so I'll come back in and fill in the blacks in a minute, but just gonna throw a couple of white lines. Just to accentuate. See, if Janet was here, she'd be yelling, "Ruler!" So anybody that joined late, feel free to look back at the earlier part of the video and listen to my ridiculous reading of today's comic page. I play all the parts. And yeah, it's all right. It's all right to be disappointed in me afterwards. I'll definitely have to listen to that. Yeah. It's pretty silly. You know, it'd be fun. Maybe I do something like this sometime. I like to hear other people's versions of things that I do. See how other people would read stuff. It's just, for some reason, that idea is just really interesting to me. I'm always curious about what the takeaway is for other people on the stuff that I'm doing. Because I hear a certain narrative in my head, and it's not the same as yours. It just isn't. And there's always going to be a part as a creator to sort of wonder what other people's responses are. At least I don't know for this lunatic, but curious if anybody else ever has that notion. Well, it's this the prompt for today's page is rockin' Bela Lugosi singing rock, and so I'm starting. The first panel is going to be really melodramatic, and then the second panel is going to be him raging on the stage with his band. So, what time are we at? 1:31. All right. Well, I have got to go and peel some potatoes. I know you're like, Chris, you lead the life, man. I know, right? Well, those potatoes aren't going to peel themselves. Anyways, yeah, so I'm going to get this rolling for tomorrow. If anybody's got one-page suggestions, feel free to shoot them at me. This is the 100th one-page suggestion since January 1st. So this is the 100th one that I've done. And now, we're at 110, 111 pages, but this is the 100th suggestion. So tomorrow it'll have a 100 at the top. And then, I don't know, start counting over, right? Yeah, definitely going to start a new folder because, it's a lot to roll through. But, yeah, I think at this point now I've got to get these things collected together, and I think we'll put the book out and collect a whole bunch of these in printed form, because it's been a lot of fun doing these different styles and different formats and trying different approaches to storytelling. I think that in anything that anybody does, if you find the larger objective to be daunting, hi Gary, if you find the larger objective to be daunting, the idea of starting smaller and then incrementally building it up over time is always a benefit, right? But, this isn't necessarily the case with me with this one, because I've done, 31 books of material already. Like I've done, stuff like that, right? So it's actually kind of going back, because I've got like one of my series is 11 issues long already, and I've got to go back and finish that at some point. But the idea of sitting down and just applying yourself to a specific point, to a specific thing. Hey, thanks, Tori. Have a great day. There's something to be said for that. So if there's anybody ever wanted to try their hand at storytelling, to try their hand at making comics, I think that doing it in this format and coming at it from one page, 4 page, and I suggest 4 page usually, is because first page is presenting the issue. Second page is for the investment or getting the story rolling. The third page would be like the climax, and the fourth page would be the resolution. So a 4-page short gives people an awful lot of room on each of those pages to work up those specific notes in the song, right? So generally that's how I've started doing it with a lot of people I've worked on stories with, is to suggest that they do 4-page bits. And then if that structure gives you a sense of, fulfillment on the level that you feel like you've accomplished some story, then I suggest doubling it up and go to 8-page, so that it gives you more breathing room for those 2 pages, for each one of those 4 points. Or you can push 1-page opener, 3-page, ramping it all up, 2-page, the big climax of the story, or 3-page, the big climax of the story, and then 1 page for the resolution. Like it's sort of the variation of it lets you change the different rhythm of the song, right? So, and then when you're feeling comfortable with that, I suggest that's when you want to invest in going to a full book. Now, other people just start with a full book. They just go for broke and have the whole thing structured out and have it all arranged, and then, fill in the bits along the way. But honestly, I find that in a lot of instances, that holds people back. And the reason that I say I think it holds people back is because of the fact that it doesn't let you push growth. And what I mean by pushing growth is the more that you do this bit, this long, the more of those that you get under the belt, the more of a rhythm you get into place for your creativity, the more of a sense of an equilibrium towards what works for you and doesn't work for you in creating. When you do a long-term project, you've either locked yourself into a form, or you have sort of just metered out your time in that way. And it works for some people. It really does. It works for some people far better than doing these short installment pieces. But in whatever way works best for you, I think that unless you're already a previously accomplished person for writing or a previously accomplished person for doing images, it can hold you back. Now, again, of course, there's no such thing as universality. It's not the same for everybody. It's different for however people approach things, and it's different results for whatever comes out of those approaches. But it's just some food for thought. Even if you have been working on a large form thing, and I'm not talking about anybody specifically or anything specifically here, but if you're working on a full comic issue and you're finding, or you've got a full comic issue plan that you want to do, you just can't get it rolling, back off it and try doing shorter pieces. Try setting yourself out a 4-page short to do. You can start with one, sure, but try a 4-page short and see what that gives you as far as your output goes. Because for a lot of people, those short pieces give them a sense of exaltation. It gives them a sense of accomplishment. It gives them a sense of endorphic release, because they've accomplished a thing. There's the feel-good energy. On to the next thing. And I think that those small rewards for people, especially when people are starting out, are really important. And I think that they really enable people to sort of get pull up their socks and get running. And I hope that helps anybody that might be considering that. I think that there's an awful lot of creative people that come and hang out. Not everybody can do. Gary Hodges is about to release his 3rd book. Gary's got 1, 2, 3 now under his belt. Not everybody. The first, even right out of the gate, the first book that Jim calls him Gareth Hodges. Right out of the gate, I mean, his first book is really strong. But that's a daunting task to come out with a full book the way that he did. And then now he just followed up with 2 more. And personally, I think they're wonderful. But not everybody can do that. Sometimes we have trouble getting objective ideas off the ground because of over expecting ourselves for those. We have these big ideas that it's going to be A, B, C, D, E. So take pieces in installments. Even if you're doing a larger body project, try chopping it up into bits and doing each of those bits, 4-page bits, 4-page bits, 8-page bits, and then map those all together, and you've got a much larger volume of work. There's a lot to be said for that. But now at this point, with 100, this being the 100th 1-page suggestion since the start of the year, it's a strange association in my head right now, because it just felt like suddenly we're at 100. Suddenly we're up here, and that's great. It's good feelings. It's all good feelings, no doubt about it. But at the same time, surprising. So we're going to keep going. And so if you have 1-page comic suggestions, 1-page ideas, let me know. I'm interested in finding them out. We'll get them down on paper. Let's have some fun with that. And if anybody else wants to do any of the ideas that you've already seen me do, please do those. I really liked the idea of seeing other people's interpretation of the same sort of weird notions that I get on stuff, especially these 3-page prompts that that are out and about right now. I've been seeing a lot of really cool things that I wouldn't have thought of. So that's my spiel. Thanks everybody for hanging out. I'm gonna sign out because I really do have to go and peel potatoes because I want to get in ready. So I'll be back tomorrow at 2:00. If anybody has any ideas, I'll be posting this for tomorrow. And I don't know. Maybe I'll keep up this whole reading each page out out loud. Give me some feedback on how ridiculous that you thought that was today. Because I sort of set myself up with a tongue twister, with today's text. I mean, just the one bit alone was it says right here in this corner, it says Victorians had a way with repressing their expressing of their affections. And then I said, oh, I'll read them. Why would I do that to myself? Anyways. Oh, there we go, Philip. Catch a tater. My goodness. Oh my goodness. You know what you're gonna get for that, Philip? You're gonna get one of these. That is a great sentence. You got a Polly, buddy. Thank you for being so generous. Oh, I don't know about that, but yeah, thanks for hanging out, everybody. I appreciate it, and I really appreciate the engagement and the involvement that everybody has in us doing all this sort of stuff together. Let's keep having fun. I'll be back tomorrow at 2:00. Have a great day, everyone, and look forward to seeing whatever anybody's working on. Tune in to Jim tonight at 7:00 PST, 10:00 EST. Philip will be on at 10:30 EST. It's going to be a lot of fun. Bye for now.